Well, thank you for joining us today. And this is my friend, Pam Hodges. You know what we like to do? We like to get together for coffee, don't we, Pam?
We love coffee.
We love coffee. And one of the things that we do when we come together for coffee is we talk about things in our life, things in the world, things of God, and we just help each other process what needs to be done around us. Isn't that true?
Absolutely. And it helps us pray for each other.
This is very true.
Things we are going through, and speak words of wisdom and kindness to one another.
And one of the conversations that we've had recently is dealing with the issue of trauma and COVID-19. And what has that conversation been, Pam?
Well, it's trauma in children. This whole subject is, we know that trauma is going on with everybody, but we don't always realize what is happening in the lives of kids.
This is very true. Trauma has a tendency to be buried and only come to the surface in certain circumstances. And then people aren't recognizing that what is happening is trauma and grief is what's surfacing.
Right.
And so then they deal with it incorrectly because they're not recognizing what the underlying situation is.
Well, and it comes out differently in children than it does in adults. Well, often children will act out to get attention, or they withdraw very deeply and won't speak or talk, or it'll even come out in their play. They don't just bring the subject up and say, hey, I'm feeling very sad, or I'm grieving over this or that. No, it comes out just in very unexpected ways.
Sometimes we kind of get lost in the turmoil of the day, and we just think the child is just being the child, the normal.
Right.
How can we be tuned in to these actions that they're doing may actually be the result of trauma?
Well, I think oftentimes we don't realize that they're listening. They pick up on our state of mind.
Yes.
They're picking up on that, and they don't know how to process that. So they often feel like they've done something wrong to cause that with maybe their misbehavior or whatever is.
And too, we have a responsibility to try and protect our children from exposure to those things that will create fear and anxiety in their life. And today's the kids, they have fear that is over the top. And it's because as adults, I think we're not aware of, they are like sponges and they're absorbing everything that's taking place around them. And it creates an unstable culture for them, and children need stability.
So we do have to guard them, and we also have to decide in our hearts to set a tone that would promote peace. And I mean, that doesn't mean that we don't deal with the situations that the kids are doing. If they're fighting or whatever is going on, we have to deal with that. But overall, we choose to have that place of peace and address things that are going on. If kids are expressing fear, or even just in small comments that they make, we can use those as teachable moments.
Yes.
And talk to them about that. And then, of course, always pray with them. Always read the Word of God with them so that they understand we're from a different world than the world.
Yes.
And we have to instill in them a Christian worldview and speak life.
This is so true. This is so true.
Really have a heart to see children and families whole, and to see boys and girls learn about Jesus at a young age. And so we are excited about working with kids and families.
Wonderful.
And working especially in this area of trauma.
Yeah.